welcome back to my channel, Triple M Stitching. My name is Marty and today is Monday, February the 21st, and I'm back with a weekly update for my cross-stitching endeavors this week. I have been doing weekly updates more than I thought I would. I didn't really have a regular uploading schedule before. Sometimes it was every 2 weeks, sometimes it was every week, but just recently I've been working on so many projects. Like, I've been switching projects so much throughout the weeks that I have been wanting to upload more so I could show kind of more in real time the progress that I've been getting, and yeah, just keeping you updated and not getting too lost on what I'm filming. So let me know if you like weekly updates or not. Yeah, I can adjust my schedule, but for now I'm enjoying filming weekly. I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who said kind words about my the flip through I did of my stitching bullet journal last week. Yeah, I was just really touched by your kind feedback, and I'll keep showing updates of the pages and showing that on my channel a little bit more. And yeah, I enjoy using my bullet journal. I really only use it for stitching. Some people do like amazing things with theirs, and yeah, if you're interested more in bullet journaling, I would just like do a YouTube search for it and see how people like draw all kinds of fun stuff, and they track things or keep track of budgets or habits or mood, or yeah, there's lots of stuff you can do. But yeah, so I think what you can expect from this video, I'll do a little tiny bit of life update, nothing really exciting, and then I'll show 2 finishes, and then I'll show works in progress. I have a little bit of shopping, and then I'll talk about the same book I've been reading, and then that'll be it for this week. So pretty straightforward video. For life update, really nothing too out of the norm has been happening. Going to work, going to school, going to church, studying. I have pottery class on Wednesdays, which I've talked about, and I made my first bowl, and then last week I was able to trim it, which I had no idea you did the trimming on the wheel itself. So you like put the bowl upside down on the wheel and you like trim off the unfinished bits and like give it a shape. It was crazy, crazy good. I mean, mine I think is a little bit wonky. I wasn't super good at the trimming, I don't think, but it's getting fired probably sometime early this week, and then on Wednesday when I go in, it should be fired and ready to glaze, so we'll see what happens. I have some experience with glazing from my hand building class, but I've been really enjoying the wheel. My teacher is great. I made another bowl last week that I will probably trim this week, so I'll have a matching set. And then I think my teacher said we're making mugs on Wednesday, so I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I make a huge mess. I get it everywhere. The clay is just all over the place, but it comes out of clothes easy. And I got like a kerchief thing for my hair because it was just getting all in my hair and my eyebrows. Yeah, I'm not neat, so yeah. And yeah, I have some group projects for my classes, which I don't love, but I have some really good group members, so that's good. And yeah, Zoom classes are rough. So I have to sit in Zoom 2 3-hour Zoom classes each week, which I know some people have it way worse, but I've had only asynchronous classes so far, and now I have these 2 like synchronous every week Zoom classes, and so it's just very draining. I usually have to drink a Coke Zero and try to make it through. But yeah, I did get a lot of stitching done because my husband and I have been very kind of religiously watching the Olympics every night, and that gives us like a chunk of stitching time. And I've been following along with the Stitching the Winter Olympics challenge put on by the Naptime Stitcher, and so I've kind of had like a structure to what I was gonna stitch. I had a structure to when I was gonna stitch, and it's been good. So let me go ahead and show you my bullet journal spread for the Winter Olympics because it has officially wrapped up. I need to go ahead and post my final project on Instagram. I worked on the same project for the last 2 days. But here's my final spread for the Winter Olympics. They're all completed, and I'm kind of sad this is over. I've never done a challenge like this where I like assigned a project to a prompt, and I loved it. So I think next month, I think I mentioned this in my last video, but next month in March I'm gonna do Stitch in the Wild, which is a Facebook group that Laura X Stitches created with some friends, I think. And yeah, see how these prompts continue to go for me. I really enjoyed having this this layout in my journal. I could go and fill it in. It was very satisfying and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is how I kind of structured my stitching this week. So the first thing I worked on, well, let me make sure this is the first thing I worked on. I also keep a calendar of what I work on each day. I write it in after the fact. I don't really do any planning ahead, but okay, so yes, the first thing I worked on since we last spoke was, actually I think it was Old Friends. So this is Old Friends by Hello from Liz Matthews, and this is a finish. It was pretty close last time you saw it. It went by much quicker than I expected. This is on 32 count even weave from Fabric Flair in the pattern Whitewash Board. It's a printed fabric. So the front, it looks like board or like wood, and the back is just white. And that's how all their fabrics are. They have like ones that are printed to look hand dyed. They have ones that are printed to have hearts and snowflakes and all kinds of stuff. But I love this look. I stitched it with a DMC variegated. It is number 4000, DMC 4000. And yeah, I'm really excited with how the letters and the color turned out there. And yeah, this is a companion piece to How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, also from Liz Matthews. And I stitched them exactly the same, and I hope to put them up with some of our wedding photos in our next house or apartment. And yeah, so I got on the one, I think on Monday, it was Valentine's Day, and it was freestyle skiing for Winter Olympics, and so you could choose whatever project you wanted to work on. It was freestyle. And this was kind of romantic and Valentine's appropriate, and so I worked on it for that one day, and then I was like super close to a finish. Like I only had like the very last letter and a couple letters in the period. And so I put it away for the next day because it didn't fit the prompt. And so then when I pulled it out again, I finished it on Wednesday the 16th. And I finished it so fast I was able to pick up Maple Lane again because I finished it really early in the night. But here's one more look, and that is my third finish for 2022. And then that is gonna go away. I'm not really doing any fully finishing right now in my season of life because I live in a really small apartment and we're gonna be moving in May. And so at this point, it's easier to pack up and move like this little object that I keep in a project, like a Amazon project bag. I have one just stuffed full of finishes than it is to move a fully finished item. And so, and yeah, so I'm just waiting to fully finish everything, and so it's really piling up and it's kind of overwhelming, but I'll be really excited to get a new place, and then I can kind of decide how I style the fully finishes based on the style of our new place. So like I said, I finished that really quickly, and then I pulled out Maple Lane. I pulled out Maple Lane on the 15th and the 16th, and then I finished it on the 16th as well. So I finished both of these in one day because it's kind of how it worked. And I'm really excited about it, and yeah, here we go. This is Maple Lane by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Everything is called for. I bought the fabric and fancy floss pack from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's website. I'll kind of like scroll it along so you can see here. I love this project. It is so cute and fall themed, and yeah, I can't wait to finish it. I think at the end of this month, they're sending out the last part of the stitch along, which is the finishing instructions. And I think the finishing tutorial is going to be a pillow, which is really exciting. And so hopefully I'll be able to do that when the time comes. But for now, it goes into my finished bag. Also, the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery is like on the cusp of releasing the theme of their new stitch along for this year. It got a little bit delayed because of like supply chain issues. And so they're like about to release it now, which is really exciting. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna wait to see the theme. I haven't decided on if I'm gonna join in yet. I have done the last two. I did the Chinese Zodiac, and then I have as a work in progress Cozy Cafe. I have 2 more drinks left on Cozy Cafe. I need to finish it. I think that's one of my March goals, is to get at least 1 cup done March, 1 done in April, like a low pressure goal kind of thing. I was like staying really on top of it, and then the holidays came and I was really not on top of it anymore. So I want to finish Cozy Cafe before I start that one. So if I decide to start the new one based on the theme, which is coming out soon, I don't know the exact date, but check their Instagram because they have said when I think They're doing like super blurry sneak peeks, and I cannot tell what it is. Very mysterious. I'm excited. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna jump on that one yet. I hadn't really planned on it. I won't be starting it until after the 90 days of no new starts anyway, which is April 1st, I think. And so, yeah, that's a maybe. But let me know in the comments if you're planning on doing it. If you're watching this and the theme has been released, like, let me know what you think. If you're excited, if you're gonna pass, if you usually do the stitch-alongs, if you don't, just let's have a chat about the Frosted Pumpkin in the comments. Yeah, and this was a stitch-along from them as well. It was one of their shorter ones. So I do really enjoy them, but I've also might enjoy having a break from doing things monthly, but I also might not. So I am just, yeah, I'm just here. Here we go. So those are my 2 finishes for this week. So now that was finished, Maple Lane was finished 3 for 2022, and so now I have 4 finishes for this year, and during the 90 days of no new starts, which is really exciting. Oh, you should go check out Allie from Misfit Stitches. She just posted a video, and she is also doing 90 days of no new starts, and has finished like a lot of things. And so definitely check out her video. I'll try and tag her in the comment section of this video. And yeah, she's a great stitchy friend. I love Allie so much, and yeah, we have like a chat on Instagram about the 90 days of no new starts, and she was like calling everybody out for starting something, and she has started something too. I've only started one thing. It's totally fine. Rules are meant to be broken, I guess. But yeah, I started one of the works in progress. I'll show you a little bit later on. But yeah, she has a great video and a great channel overall. And then the next project I worked on was His Name is Jesus, for one of the prompts. Let me see. Oh, it was a work in progress with words. And, oh yeah, let me grab my iPad. So this is a pattern from Joyful Expressions Needlework, and it is a complimentary chart if you sign up for their email newsletter. So just visit Joyful Expressions online, and there'll be a way to sign up for their newsletter. Here's the cover photo. This is what it will look like. It has all the different names of Jesus in the Bible. So they provide this blue colorway and DMC alternative, or DMC called fors, and the same with this like mauve pink colorway. And they say you can either use these colorways or like totally choose your own, which I think a lot of people get creative, which is fun. I stuck with the blue colorway, but I picked my own colors, and let me pull them out. I chose some Victorian mottos because I had seen a lot of people stitching with them. I know Nell from Little Yellow House Crafts, I think, is someone I saw stitching with them, and then also Sarah from Stitch and Mommy recommended them, and she's where I saw this project. And so I wanted to try some, and so I went on their Etsy shop, and she had listed like a pack of 5, and it was called Favorite Blues, and it was you bought all 5 together. And so I bought that pack, and I chose 3 of them to do for this project, and I have 2 lovely ones waiting for me for another, probably something like monochromatic for my mom. She loves blue. Oh, and I saw on Victorian Motto's Etsy shop, they have these like really big packs of floss, like over 100 skeins of floss, maybe. I don't know how many is in the pack, but it's like really large bundles of floss. They're like a little out of my price range right now, but like one day I would love to buy that and just like have a ton of Victorian Motto floss. That would be absolutely amazing. But here are the 3 I am using for His Name is Jesus. I'll try and like show you all together here. Colonial Bluebonnet, Flag, and Cobalt. So here they are. They're very lovely. Oh, this whip is in a Autumn Lane Stitchery in the Black Needle Society project bag. And this project is stitched on 28 count Jobelin from Witch Out in the color China Pearl. I think it's China Pearl. And I got like a decent amount of progress on this. I ended up working on this a little bit on the 18th as well, because I'll explain, but this is 2 days, well, more than 2 days, but I did about 2 nights worth of work on this. So I'll try and show you what I added. I added I Am, Star of Jacob, and the beginning of Wonderful Counselor. So I'll try and show a little bit better. But yeah, I had a lot done, or a decent amount done already, and this here where Wonderful Counselor is the bottom of the pattern, and so it goes across. My fabric is folded up, but it'll go across, and yeah, so I was excited to get to the bottom. I think when I work on this next, I want to finish the words wonderful counselor and then start on the big his name is Jesus in the middle, so I don't leave that to like the very end and get like kind of overwhelmed. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on that. The words go like a lot faster than I thought they would. And so, yeah, I got a decent amount of progress on that for the amount of time I spent on it, which was exciting. And then for the next work in progress I worked on, it was the 18th, and it was for Stitch the Winter Olympics. It was the medal ceremony, and it was stitch on something flowers or floral. And I was gonna do Maple Lane for that, but I finished it, and so I pulled out a whip that I had worked on in a really long time. I did show it in my whip parade though. This is Sunflower Street from Stitching with the Housewives. Here is the cover photo. So it's pretty small, cute little sunflowers. I started this for Sunflower September in 2021 and then like did not work on it again. It's on 28 count black. I think it's Monaco. And it's kind of hard for me to work on. I love 28 count and I've used black before, but only Ada. And like this fabric, the holes are like pretty close together. Like it's pretty tightly woven. And so for some reason I just have a hard time like finding the hole. I keep my iPad or a white piece of paper underneath. But our living room where I do a lot of my stitching doesn't get the most natural light in the afternoon, and so I basically only worked on this in the morning here in this room where there's like better light. I am doing a mix of everything's called for, but I'm using 2 classic colorworks and a DMC. So it's Steamed Broccoli, Bamboo, DMC 729, and DMC 3862 is what I'm using. This is staying in a cute little Bags by Wendy Toy Story alien bag that was freed up after I finished Night Court Insignia. And I got some of the outlining of all the sunflowers done. So all the yellow and brown bits are all in for the sunflowers, and then I'll need to go in and do like their stems and the houses. So I thought about like just abandoning this whip, but I don't think I'm going to. It's pretty small, and if I just work on it a couple mornings here and there, it'll eventually get done. And it's pretty small, and so I think it'll get to a point where it's like on a brink of being done, or I'll just kind of buckle down a little harder and finish it. It would be a really easy finish to just like knock down off my whip list, so maybe in March I'll like make that a goal, but for now that is how much I worked on it. And then I worked on that in a day, and then once the sun went down I picked up His Name is Jesus because it's much easier to see. The next day was the 19th. Ice hockey was the event, and it was stitch towards your goal on something. And so I worked on Santa's Stalking by Doreen Jones. Here it is. And this is the one thing I started in 90 days of no new starts because I was supposed to start it before the new year, but USPS had other plans for my fabric. So I had to wait to get new fabric, and then I started it like for the start of the Winter Olympics. And I'm not gonna take it off the Q-snap because it's like a lot of fabric and it's tough to get in here. But here is what I have worked on so far. I have more down here. If you watch my other video, I think 2 videos ago, I show this. And I showed it on my whip parade, I think. I'm not sure. But I have shown this, and it's on my Instagram at Triple M Stitching. I have more of his like coat and like the present he's holding and his beard done. But my goal for that day was to get his mustache done. So I did from here up on his mustache because I wanted to work down with the white, because I realized that my white stitches look neater if I work down and go into an empty hole at the bottom instead of like working up and having to put my needle through to start the stitches in the hole that already had a stitch in it. And so I wanted to work up. I did his beard, his face, which kind of blends in. And then I started working down on his beard. Or I did his mustache and then his beard. The counting on the mustache was kind of stressing me out because I really wanted to get it right because I knew I was like basing a lot of things off the mustache. And so I downloaded a new cross stitch app, and it is called, let me see if I can show you. Markup RXP. I don't think you can see that. I'm sorry. It's Markup Capital R-XP. And basically, I think it's like sort of similar. Maybe it has a similar goal to Pattern Keeper. I've never used Pattern Keeper, and I I don't know. I can't compare the two. But it's basically like it lets you track where you are. And so there's a free trial, and then I think you pay like $8 or something, like a one-time fee. And I'm going to show you the chart, but it's like super zoomed in, so I really don't think you can stitch from this. But basically you like upload a PDF into it, and it can like follow the grid lines and allow you to mark off individual squares that you're working on. So this red section and this blue section are what I have highlighted. So I can like drag my finger and like highlight squares. I can do undo. I can highlight individual squares. Yeah, and it was super helpful doing the mustache, because when you're doing a curve like that, like I keep track kind of like, okay, I do one longer and one shorter on this row, and the next row I do two longer and two shorter, or whatever. But I was getting to a point where I was really scared that I was gonna mess that up and like not, like I had reference points, but when you're doing a curve like that, it's kind of like the curve of the mustache, like it's kind of subtle, and I wanted to get the counting right, so I got this app, and I've really been enjoying it. I'm using it for the beard. I will say, so this particular chart, I only use this app with this chart, and so I really don't have like a full review of it, but the way this chart works is there's one really big page that has the entire design on it, the entire chart, and I usually like to stitch from that in charts and it has one page with the entire design, because I don't do very big charts usually. This is like the biggest one I've done, and I don't like to run the risk of like lining up the pages wrong, like stitching the pages wrong. And this particular chart doesn't do the thing where like there's 3 grayed out stitches and then the new page starts, so you can kind of like compare where you're starting the stitches on the new page to the grayed out 3 you've already done from another page. This chart doesn't do that. It just, you kind of have to like fit it together. And so yeah, I usually would stitch off the main big chart, but because this chart is so big, when you zoom in, it gets a little blurry, and so the grid lines that this app places over the grid lines of the chart are not perfectly accurate, because this big chart is, again, so big and therefore blurrier when you get zoomed in. And so like when you go, so there's like a lot of other little pages in this chart, and those are much clearer because they're smaller, there's fewer blocks. You can zoom in and it's much clearer, but I guess this is more on the designer, but like this chart doesn't have those grayed out 3 stitches, so it's really hard to know once you finish stitching what's on one page. It's kind of hard for me to, in some places where it's like a long strip of the beard, to know where I am, so I refer back to the big chart in that case. And I still, even though the big chart is blurry, I can use it enough. This is the big chart really zoomed in. I can use it enough to highlight like big chunks of the beard, even though it's not perfectly accurate. But yeah, that's a lot of rambling about this app. I didn't intend to ramble like that, but that's just kind of my experience with it. I really am enjoying it, and I'm really glad I paid the $8. And yeah, it's made me do a lot less counting, and I mean, I do count and check, and I refer back and make sure everything's going well, but it's just been really nice, because when I first started stitching, I used paper patterns and I highlighted, and then I kind of just moved away from that, from the highlighting even, because I don't do super crazy complicated charts, so I was kind of okay just being able to reference what I've stitched versus what's on the paper. And then when I moved to digital charts, it was fine, because again, they're not super complicated, so I was doing okay. But with this one, it's much bigger than some things I have stitched, and it's much more stitch heavy. Like, it's very large chunks of stitching that I do not want to rip out. I want to get it right the first time. So yeah, I'm really excited that I have this app now. I'm excited to try some other charts with it. Especially let's go to my Google Drive. I have Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Stitchrovia, and there are some like big blocks of stitching. Like I have here up done, but I think this app will really come in handy for like this chart as well. I mean, some charts, like my little nativity finger puppets, I probably won't do it for like this chart. Like, I do one at a time. And because they're each so small, I'm usually okay. But maybe I'll try it and see, even with small charts. Now that I have it, might as well use it. So yeah, that's about the Markup RXP app. I think I'd heard people talk about it before. I think Pattern Keeper is more popular. I just don't have an Android tablet, and yeah, Pattern Keeper hasn't come out for iPad yet, so that's just where we are. Okay, that was my last work in progress. I will probably continue, so let's talk about plans a little bit. I will probably continue working on Santa Stalking today just because I'm kind of in a flow with the beard right now, and I have more space in, like I have all this room to fill in, so I'm probably just gonna keep going. I might work on his hat a little bit today, we'll see. That is kind of my plan for today, stitching, and then I have one more Whip Go goal to do for this month. So Santa Stalking was actually my first Whip Go goal. And one of the reasons I started it because I got called on Whip Go, and I created this board before I knew I didn't have it started. Anyway, so here's my Whip Go board. I need to work on a Doreen Jones project for number 5. And so I'm gonna work on the Nativity finger puppets I just showed you, because my goal for this month was to get one done, and then I'll be done with the whole project, and I'll be my finish for this month. So exciting. Let me show you that again, and in case you fast forwarded through my Markup RXP ramblings. But yeah, I have one more Wise Men to do, and then I'm done. And my Whip Go goal is 3 days. Usually they take me between 3 and 5 days to do one, depending on my stitching time and school. But I plan on starting one tomorrow, and then just working on it until it's done, and then scratching that one off. And that's really my only plan. I think I want to try and build in more regular work on this Santa Stalking this month, or this whole year, because I would like to finish this by Christmas, maybe. Let's see how many days I worked on it this year, or this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've worked on this for 6 days so far, and I've gotten a decent amount of progress, and I don't want that momentum to die, but I also want to balance that momentum with not getting burnt out on it. And so I think I'm going to try and make this a weekend project, work on this a few weekends, maybe 2 weekends a month minimum, because I get the most stitching time on weekends, and this is kind of a good project to dedicate that time to, I think. And so I want the momentum to keep going, but I want the freedom to have lots of other options. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning for this one. Let me think of anything else to say. I don't think so. I don't know if I can finish. I could finish this by Christmas. It's very feasible to finish this amount of work of stitching by Christmas. I am very aware of not getting burnt out and hate stitching, rage stitching things. I don't want to get to that point. So yeah, I think it's very possible, and I'm gonna, in March, I think, dedicate 2 weekends to it and see how that feels, see how much progress I get, and then I'll kind of shape my plans. So yeah, that's kind of the plans. I'll do my Wise Man, hopefully show him next week, and then see what calls me. Whip Go numbers should be drawn for March in a week, and then I'll know more about March's plans then. Okay, and so the last stitching related thing until I talk about the book I'm reading is stash acquisitions. I only have 2. One was inspired by Annie of Joyfilled Stitcher. She was showing some 12 Days of Christmas patterns by somebody, and they were in this out of print magazine. I'm flipping. Okay. Oh, it's by. Okay. So she explained this better than I will. It's by Cherry Wood Design Studios, and the designers are Kathy Haberman and Teresa Curry. I know Kathy Haberman went on to do hands-on design. She's hands-on design now. I think Teresa Curry has done something else, and I do not remember what she has done. I'm so sorry. But they do not design anymore, and so these patterns are only available in Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. And so this is the September 2011 edition. I got it on eBay after watching Annie's video, because she showed these 12 Days of Christmas patterns, and I really liked them. And this was it was a couple dollars on eBay. And so these ornaments are in these out of print magazines, and so they're kind of hard to find. So they're in 3 editions: September 2011, November 2011, and January 2012. That's what Joyfilled Stitcher said in her video. And so I was able to find September. I set saved searches on eBay for the other 2. Could keep my eye on Stash Unload and eBay and And yeah, so I probably won't start this until I have them all potentially, but these are the 12 days of Christmas ornaments. So they have like the, well, now it's just birds, but they have the birds, and they also have like kind of a biblical tie-in on the back. So for the partridge in a pear tree, it's Jesus Christ. For the two turtle doves, it's the Old and the New Testament. They have like a little write-up about it. It says, our new annual collectible ornament series kicks off with the 12 days of Christmas. Whether you stitch the series with double-sided ornaments or work them into the framework for a single sensational design, the joy of the holidays will be with you. And so you can do them as ornaments, or they provide a border to do them as one big one. I'll probably do ornaments. But yeah, this is like a very future project. I just really liked them and wanted to start the hunt for them now because they are hard to find. And so, yeah, I'll keep you updated if I find any of these other magazines. I won't pay like extreme amounts of money for them probably. I'll probably wait until they are like, I haven't really seen them for extreme amounts of money. I just know out of print things can be kind of wild. But yeah, it was such a reasonable price, so I was like, I kind of want to get started collecting these anyway. So that was that one. And then my second and last piece of haul is from Artist Design. It is from the Chesapeake Bay Treasures series. It's number 4, the Tundra Swans. Whoa, sorry. And I have all of her Chesapeake Bay Treasures series. I have stitched the Maryland Blue Crab. I have plans to start the Herons as soon as 90 Days of Notary Starts is over. And then I also have the Island Ponies and now Tundra Swans. She shows this in her recent Flosstube videos, Artist Designs. It is RDIF Design. I'm sorry, it's Monday. Artist. And yeah, I really love these. It's a full kit. And so I believe Amanda May herself dyes Ada, which is this green color right here, which is much deeper than shown in the picture, but I really like how much the white pops. And so this is like a white silk. And so it's 18 count, and so you stitch these with one strand of silk on the 18 count, and it is glorious for me. I just absolutely love it. The Blue Crab was so much fun to stitch, and I really white really stresses me out when I stitch. I talked about that when I first started the stocking, but using the one strand on the 18 count I think will be lovely. It comes with chenille trim to trim the pillow, the backing fabric, which is so pretty, a little white snowflake to adorn the pillow, and a needle. So it's an amazing kit. The Blue Crab stitched up in less than a week. I remember working on it over 4th of July at family's mountain vacation, and yeah, I really love these. She has said, I'm sure she doesn't watch this video, but I think she said she's gonna do a terrapin, which I go to the University of Maryland. Turtles are my husband and I's favorite animals. Was not like a huge factor in deciding to come here for grad school, but like it was a good bonus. But yeah, we love turtles. And so Amanda May, if you happen to watch this video, and please do the turtle, please put that as number 5 or 6 or however many you do of these, because I will buy all of them. And because she's in Maryland, this came to me in like a day. So really excited. I buy all of them as soon as they come out. She does do limited runs of the kits. I know the patterns are kind of more perpetually printed by her, regularly printed, but the kits are like limited runs, and so I'm signed up for her newsletter to like keep on top of when they come out so I can always snag them. But if you're interested, definitely check out her website. And that is it for stitching. We made it, only 33 minutes, not too bad. A lot of rambles, but we're good. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the book I've been reading. If you're not super interested in that, totally understand. Have a great day. Let me know what you're working on in the comments below. I hope you have a lovely week, and whenever you're watching this, that you're getting some good stitching time in. Come say hi on Instagram. My handle is @MMStitching, so the same thing as here on YouTube. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you, and I'm just so touched that people continue to watch and subscribe. I really am, so thank you. But book talk. Let me grab my book. I'm gonna lean over here. I am still reading Eye of the World. So this is by Robert Jordan. It is the first in the Wheel of Time series, which is now being made into an Amazon Prime show. That's what the cover is like representing. But this book is huge, so I have this much left to go. And I really love it. So it's definitely, I don't know if wordy is the right word, but like thick. The book is just thick, and there's a lot happening, and sometimes like everything will be going fine, and then just like out of nowhere something crazy happens, and I think I'm just also really bad at picking up on foreshadowing. So I just like am always surprised when things happen. But I'm really liking it. I think it's definitely different, because the previous 2 series I had read were the 2 Sarah J. Maas series. They were Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses, and those are definitely more like young adult. This is kind of like a different vibe than this one. This is kind of more, it's in the adult genre, so it's like Shell with adults at the library. Maybe more of like a Lord of the Rings type speed, I think. I hope that's a fair comparison. Don't come for me if it's not. But yeah, I am enjoying the characters. Right now, I don't want to give any spoilers, but like some of the characters are in one place and some of them are in another place. And yeah, I'm just interested to see like where their trajectories are going. I really cannot predict what's about to happen and like what these two different, or like these different people are gonna do. And yet there's a lot of different creatures, and there's a lot of world building happening, and kind of building of like the beliefs and then like the narrative of like good and evil in this world. Like it's definitely a complex kind of definition of good and evil. There's not like a clear good guy and a clear bad guy. I mean, there's a clear bad guy, but like, I'm rambling. But I think what I was trying to say is like this book is kind of, I think, serving to like set up a lot of those belief systems, like how people feel about these people, these creatures, these rulers, these mystical people. And yeah, it's really interesting. I think that's going to come in handy in some of the other books for sure, but I think I'm getting a little confused with some of the names and terms, which is okay. I think it's going to be okay. But I do really enjoy world building, so I'm super into it. I like furthering my understanding of the society, of the world, of the cities. So yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, definitely jump in. It is an Amazon Prime show. I think someone commented below on one of my other videos and said the first season of the Amazon Prime show covers book 1 and then some from book 2 and 3. I need to look that, after I finish book 1, I'm gonna look that up and confirm like when I can start watching it, like which episodes to watch, because I'm really interested to see how they turn this into a show, because I feel like especially in like kind of more like fantasy things or things like really rich world building, what I build up in my head is always like so much more simplified than like what probably the author is imagining and what is depicted like in the show or the TV. And so yeah, I'm really excited to see that. And I need to go ahead and get the second book, because hopefully I can get some good reading time in this week. I really only read before bed, and that's why it's pretty slow going, because if I'm reading during the day, it's for class. But yeah. Also, I'm really tempted to pick up Sarah J. Maas's newest series, which is Crescent City. The first and the second book are out now, but the second book like just came out like last week or something, and I haven't read the first one. And my friend Caroline and I were talking about it. I think we want to read it, so I might do like see if there's like a copy of the second book of this and the first book of that on thrift books and make an order, because I think I could get them on interlibrary loan, but it would take a while, so we'll see. Anyway, that's about it for book talk. Sorry I don't have much more to say. I think the characters are all kind of going interesting directions. Some are they're like kind of on this journey, and everyone's kind of handling that journey differently, and that's really interesting to see as well, like how, because a lot of characters are really young, like teenagers, and so they're on this kind of crazy journey, and everyone's kind of coping with that differently and coping with the kind of realities of like the situation they are put in differently. I think that's really realistic as well. So very exciting. I'm gonna go and start stitching. I think I need to go to the post office today. It's supposed to be like 60 degrees, and so hopefully we can take a really long walk later. And yeah, everyone have a great week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.